Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that one of our admins sent to me. The translation, it reads like this. Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? So, my name is Tabo and I'm just a regular guy. I drive a truck for a living, going back and forth. All along, I used to do the local routes. That was when some of the guys in our company, they were dropped off because there were some things that were happening there. So now they were saying that you need to have at least a workforce that is South African and at least 2% foreign nationals. So I did not want to go into neighboring countries, but then my boss told me that it meant good money for me if I'll be traveling all over Southern Africa. I spoke with my wife. My wife did not want me to do the long distance going into different into countries, but at the same time, the money was good. So that was when I started doing cross-border, delivering goods, mainly your groceries. I have seen a lot of things on the road. I have met all kinds of people. I have done some naughty stuff. But nothing prepared me for what happened when I took a recent trip to Zambia. I thought I knew how the world worked, especially as a Christian. But I had no idea that there are things out there that are more spiritual. I was on a trip hauling maize from Jamestown and I was supposed to go to Lusaka. It was just another job, just another trip. I had done routes like those ones, but not going there before. I stopped over in Harare to refuel and stretch my legs. It was early in the morning. It seemed as if everyone was just waking up and everyone was all out and about. Then I just wanted to get back on the road. Then as I was heading back to my truck, I saw a poor family by the side of the road. They looked desperate. 2 women, a man and a young boy, maybe 8 or 9 years. The young boy is what struck my heart. I did not want to give them a lift because from judging from their looks, it seemed as if they had no money. But the young boy, I felt so sorry for him. And then they were carrying some bags and one of the men looked sick or crazy or something. He kept rocking back and forth, talking to himself, his eyes wild. The women waved at me and then they begged for a lift. And as someone who do pick up hitchhikers, I can only risk that when it means that the person has money. But risking to picking up all of these people whom I could see that they won't be able to pay me. But anyway, I said, let me do it. Maybe later on, I would find myself a good mahosha to spend the night with their money. The older woman, probably the boy's mother, explained that they were trying to go to this other area just outside of Harare. They wanted to see a witch doctor. She said the man was their cousin and he had gone mad. He had been talking with the spirits of the dead, seeing things that no one else can see. They had tried to take him to hospital and no one could help. Then that was when I was told that the witch doctor was going to help them. Now, I am not the one to mess with that stuff. I had grown up hearing stories about witchcraft and spirits, but I always thought that it was just stories. I did not believe any of it, but I figured that, well, let me just give them a lift anyway. I was headed in that direction and I was going to be dropping them off. Then I was going to be on my way. The ride, truly speaking, it was very uncomfortable. The madman kept on muttering to himself. Each and every now and then, he would scream, clutching his head, pretending as if he was fighting with other people. When I dropped them off, that was when something in me told me that I was supposed to take their phone numbers, and then I took their phone numbers. It was like a part of me was telling me that I just needed to test it out to see that indeed if there are witch doctors that are very powerful in that country. That was when later on I went on my way and I then returned back to my country. So after that was when I spoke with them. So I spoke with them on WhatsApp. This was just out of sheer curiosity. I wanted to know if the witch doctor had helped their cousin, if there was any truth to this thing of powerful witch doctors in Zim. The woman replied almost immediately. She thanked me and she said that he was cured, that the witch doctor had performed the rituals and the man was now okay. This made me to be very excited. I kept on going with my life. That was when one day I asked her for the witch doctor's contact details. And then I found myself back in Harare. Few days later on, I spoke with a man, found a place to park my truck, and I was then told that they were going to come and pick me up. We then went to this other area. I still remember the name. It was in Kambuzuma. And when we went there, that was when I saw that the traditional healer was there. He was visiting his child. The witch doctor was an old man. He looked at me and he told me that he could help me out. And when he said that he could help me out, he then gave me a clay pot. And he said that, take this clay pot to your country. And I then took it. He said that this clay pot is going to make you to become a multiple millionaire. And I agreed. He told me that I was supposed to place it at my house and to make sure that my wife was never going to see or to touch it. This was quite easy because I have my own tool shed. So I returned back home and I placed the clay pot inside that small shack that I used to keep my tools, and I locked it. And I was carrying the keys wherever I would go to. I returned back to Harare. They had told me the amount that they wanted, and I gave them the amount, and I waited for my millions, but the millions were not coming. I then returned back home, and I just said, let me see if that clay pot, maybe there is money inside. I went there and I found out that this clay pot, it had some fire that was burning inside. I tried to speak with the healer, and the healer has told me that I need to sacrifice my son. So the blood of my son is the thing that is going to make this fire to die down. Once the fire that is burning in the clay pot, when it dies down, then I'll start to make money. My son is just a kid. He is really young. I do not want to sacrifice my own flesh and blood, not for any amount of money. I was working well. Now I feel like I am trapped. Here I am writing this out to you, hoping that someone out there knows what to do, someone who can help me. I wanted money, but not this type of money. I spoke with that witch doctor. They have since said that if I do not want to do this, then they will charge me double. The first amount that they had charged me, it was 45,000 rands, which they said it was equivalent to the money that they use in their country, which is US dollars. So I had only managed to pay a quarter of that 45,000. Now they are saying that for them to take back the clay pot, what they need is the full amount. Then I give them so that my son cannot die. But the healer is saying, you need to do this so that you can be rich. You do not want to drive your truck for the rest of your life whilst you are damaging your kidneys, because you will be sitting all day long. And I do not know how to escape this. Please, can you help me?